Disney executives, we need to talk. The creator of Phineas and Ferb just revealed some of your original plans for the show, and they are hilariously bad. Welcome to Animation Hustle, the place where we dive into the funny and untold stories behind your favorite animated movies and TV shows. So Phineas and Ferb is definitely one of the top 5 cartoons, like, ever. But back in the day, Disney Channel executives didn't believe in the show and wanted to make some changes.
There was a whole issue about they wanted to have a girl in the show that was aspirational. Originally they wanted Candace to be that, which we said we can't, she's the foil. So we did beef up Isabella's part, and she became a much bigger part than she was in the pilot, and it's where we got the Fireside Girls.
So some of them were actually pretty good, and they took the suggestions. But other ones, not so much. Here are 3 notes that they just had to ignore. Number 1, early on, they wanted Phineas and Ferb to be more like another iconic Disney duo.
We actually got the note at one point, they should have backpacks. Zack and Cody would wear backpacks. Anybody who's familiar with Disney, the Zack and Cody characters were thrown up at us a lot.
And number 2, they actually wanted to change Candace.
The original idea from the networks was that Mom and Candace were too confrontational with each other and that the American audiences wouldn't like that. The British audiences apparently loved conflict and thought that relationship was extremely realistic and loved it, so we actually managed to keep it.
And number 3, the biggest change they wanted to make is with the characters.
One of the first notes that we got is, could you make the characters more attractive? And we said, no, we can't. But what we said is, if you buy into these characters, the way they look isn't going to matter. How many people remember Rocky and Bullwinkle? Anybody over here? These were the ugliest characters ever. The models didn't match from one shot to the next. The backgrounds were horrible. It was a hysterically funny show and everybody loved the characters. What we didn't want to do is have a show on the air that looked exactly like every other show on Disney Channel. We really wanted this to look unique. So that was one of the places where we really stood firm.
By staying true to themselves and their vision, the Phineas and Ferb creators were able to make history. But the way they made Phineas and Ferb actually changed Disney Channel forever.
We had always intended this to be a premise and storyboard-driven show. We didn't do scripts, which is not the way Disney did things. They really like to know what you're doing with their money. The actual day where we had that final discussion, they came down and said, okay, we'll make a compromise with you. We'll do a show that's half script, half premise. And Dan and I said, look, you bought the show, you can make any show you want. If you want us to work on it, this is the show we want to make. Okay, if you believe this passionately, we'll do it your way. I think the unspoken subtext to that was, if it goes horribly wrong, it's your fault. And I remember saying early on, it would be really great if a few years from now we looked at the Disney Channel and we were actually able to change the perception of the network. If this show was successful, more shows would come like this, and it would actually change the demographic of people watching the show. I think it was about 6 months in when that actually happened, which was very rewarding.
It's always cool to hear behind-the-scenes stories of a successful show. This talk is very inspiring, so definitely check it out, links below, and check out this video about the behind-the-scenes of pitching SpongeBob.